The Sahara Desert, a name synonymous with scorching heat, endless sand and unforgiving aridity. It stretches across North Africa, a seemingly timeless monument to the power of nature's extremes, an immense silent expanse, a sea of dunes rippling under the relentless sun. It's a landscape that evokes images of solitude and desolation, a place where survival seems almost impossible. But this vast arid realm was not always a sea of sand. Its history is far more complex, far more surprising than we might imagine. Just a few thousand years ago, a blink of an eye in geological time, this was the Green Sahara, a world transformed, almost unrecognizable from the desert we know today. Imagine, if you will, a lush savanna teeming with life. Picture vibrant grasslands stretching as far as the eye can see, a haven for diverse species. Rivers flowed, carving pathways through the landscape, providing sustenance and transportation. Lakes shimmered, reflecting the azure sky, creating oases of tranquility and abundance. These weren't just small ponds, they were vast bodies of water supporting entire ecosystems. And ancient rock art in the Tassili Niger Mountains, a testament to human presence, depicted giraffes, graceful giants roaming freely across the plains, elephants, majestic creatures shaping the environment with their presence, and humans thriving in grasslands, living in harmony with the natural world. They hunted, gathered and built communities in this fertile land. These were not myths, fanciful tales spun around a campfire, but records of a different climate, meticulously pieced together by scientists. When monsoon rains reached deep into the continent, bringing life-giving water to the parched earth. This rain supported a rich ecosystem, a vibrant tapestry of flora and fauna, and flourishing human societies who adapted and thrived in this green paradise. But around 5,500 years ago, a dramatic shift began. A subtle shift in Earth's orbit, the Milankovitch cycles, imperceptibly altering the planet's relationship with the sun, began to weaken the monsoon, the lifeblood of the Green Sahara. Rains retreated, becoming less frequent and less intense. Lakes shrank, their once abundant waters evaporating under the increasingly harsh sun, and grasslands withered, turning brown and brittle, unable to sustain the life they once supported. Vegetation vanished, leaving the soil exposed and vulnerable to the elements, freeing the sand to advance, reclaiming the land that had once been green. This transformation was gradual, unfolding over centuries, a slow and relentless march of the desert. But its impact was profound, forever altering the landscape and the lives of those who inhabited it. The Green Sahara's story is a reminder, a powerful lesson etched in the sands of time. Landscapes we see as permanent can change dramatically, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. Today, a new, much faster transformation is underway, a change driven not by subtle orbital shifts but by the actions of humankind, this time driven by human hands, by our choices and our impact on the planet. The desert's past is a warning for our future, a stark reminder of the fragility of ecosystems and the consequences of environmental change. The stage is set for a battle, a critical struggle for the future of our planet between nature and humanity. A fight we must win to ensure a sustainable future for all. The Sahara, a sea of sand stretching across North Africa, is expanding, a slow but relentless creep that's reshaping the continent. And this time, the change isn't happening over millennia, it's rapid, observable within our lifetimes. We're witnessing a dramatic shift in the landscape, a transformation unfolding at an alarming pace. Since the 1920s, the desert has grown southward by up to 10%, a significant encroachment that paints a concerning picture of environmental change. This expansion isn't just a statistic, it represents lost land, displaced communities and a growing ecological crisis. Consuming the Sahel, the fertile transition zone south of the Sahara. This region, once a vibrant ecosystem, is now succumbing to the desert's advance. This is desertification, the process by which fertile land degrades and transforms into barren desert. It's a stark reminder of the fragility of our ecosystems. Fertile land turning barren within a single lifetime, a devastating reality for those who depend on it for their livelihoods. Imagine witnessing the land that sustains you slowly disappear, replaced by sand and dust. Natural droughts play a role, exacerbating the already precarious conditions and pushing ecosystems to their breaking point. These periods of dryness can last for years, leaving the land parched and vulnerable. But human pressures amplify the crisis, accelerating the desertification process and pushing the Sahel towards irreversible change. Our actions are directly contributing to this environmental catastrophe. Deforestation for firewood and agriculture, driven by the need for survival, strips the land of its natural defences. The trees that once held the soil in place are disappearing at an alarming rate. Strips the land of protection, leaving it vulnerable to the elements and accelerating the process of erosion. Without the canopy of trees, the soil is exposed to the harsh sun and wind. Overgrazing by livestock, driven by increasing population and limited resources, compacts soil and destroys vegetation, further hindering the land's ability to recover. The hooves of animals pound the earth, making it harder for plants to grow. Without roots and shade, the natural defences against desertification are gone. The earth bakes and erodes, turning to dust and blowing away in the wind, leaving behind a barren landscape, inviting the desert in, allowing the sands to reclaim what was once fertile ground. The desert advances relentlessly, swallowing everything in its path. Global warming intensifies droughts, making them more frequent and severe, further stressing already vulnerable ecosystems, and makes rainfall erratic, creating unpredictable conditions that make it difficult for farmers to plan and cultivate their crops. Creating a vicious cycle where drought leads to desertification, which in turn exacerbates drought conditions. Failed reforestation and poor land management, often due to lack of resources or inadequate planning, worsen the problem, hindering efforts to combat desertification and restore degraded lands. The Sahara's modern march is a story of ecological imbalance, a disruption of the delicate harmony between humans and the environment. One we helped create through unsustainable practices and a disregard for the long-term consequences of our actions. The consequences are visible, urgent and growing, demanding immediate action to mitigate the effects of desertification and protect vulnerable communities. The desert's edge is now a front line, a battleground where communities are fighting to protect their land and their way of life. In the fight for survival, a struggle against the encroaching sands and the forces that drive desertification. The evidence of change is written on the land. Old photos show Sahel villages shaded by acacia trees and dotted with grass. Today those same places are barren, sand swallowing fields and homes. Trees that once anchored communities are gone, ecosystems lost in miniature. Their absence leaves a void quickly filled by desert. Satellite images reveal the Sahara's relentless advance, blurring the once stable southern boundary. Water bodies like Lake Chad have shrunk by over 90% since the 1960s. These images are stark proof. Desertification is not theory, but reality. The land's transformation is rapid, visible and devastating. The past and present stand in sharp contrast, a warning for the future. The desert's reach is growing and the world is watching. For those living on the Sahara's edge, desertification is a daily struggle. Elders recall predictable rains and abundant pastures, now memories fading with the land. Scientists warn the Sahel is a climate hotspot, warming faster than the global average. Erratic rainfall and severe droughts devastate crops and livelihoods. Women walk miles for firewood. Wells run dry for months. These are not distant tales, they are lived realities for millions. Experts and locals agree, human-driven land use and climate change are fueling a crisis. The expansion of the Sahara is a disaster layered on natural vulnerability. The call for urgent action has never been clearer. The Sahara's advance brings hunger, poverty and displacement. As land turns to dust, crops fail and livestock die. Food and water become scarce. Traditional livelihoods collapse, forcing migration to crowded cities or distant lands. Climate migration strains urban infrastructure and stirs conflict over dwindling resources. Scarcity leads to violence between farmers and herders and erodes cultural heritage. Health suffers. Dust storms cause respiratory illness and waterborne diseases spread. The loss of biodiversity means losing traditional medicines and resilience. The advancing desert is not just an environmental crisis, it's a human one. Every aspect of life is under threat, from economy to identity. The struggle is for survival, dignity and hope. The stakes could not be higher. In response to the escalating environmental challenges, Africa has launched the Great Green Wall, a monumental undertaking designed to combat desertification and restore degraded lands. It's a visionary project, a symbol of renewal, breathing life back into parched landscapes and offering a beacon of hope for communities on the front lines of climate change. This ambitious project aims to restore a mosaic of green landscapes, creating a vibrant tapestry of life where once there was only barren land. It's about fostering biodiversity and creating sustainable ecosystems. This ambitious green initiative stretches across 8,000 kilometers, a transcontinental effort to halt the Sahara's southward creep. It spans the continent from Senegal in the west all the way to Djibouti in the east, uniting diverse nations in a common cause. It's more than just planting trees, it's about nurturing a new era of environmental stewardship and community empowerment. It's about transforming lives and land, empowering local communities to manage their resources sustainably, and building resilience against the impacts of climate change. Native drought-resistant trees like acacia are planted, carefully selected for their ability to thrive in harsh conditions and provide essential ecosystem services. These trees bind the soil, preventing erosion and restoring fertility, creating a foundation for sustainable agriculture and livelihoods. Sustainable techniques, agroforestry, integrating trees into farming systems, and zai pits, small planting pits that conserve water, are being implemented. These methods help capture precious rainwater, improve soil moisture, and boost crop yields, ensuring food security for local populations. Over 20 nations and global partners are actively involved, pooling resources and expertise to achieve this ambitious vision. This collaborative spirit is making this a model of international cooperation, demonstrating the power of collective action in addressing global challenges. Progress is slow, but real, a testament to the dedication and perseverance of the communities involved. Millions of hectares have already been restored in Senegal, transforming barren landscapes into thriving ecosystems. Similar success stories are emerging in Niger, showcasing the transformative potential of the Great Green Wall. The Great Green Wall stands as a powerful testament, proving that reversing desertification is not just a dream, but a tangible possibility. It's a living symbol of hope and resilience, a green oasis emerging from the desert, inspiring communities and nations alike. The fight for the land is far from over, and the challenges remain significant, but the momentum is building. The seeds of change are growing, promising a greener, more sustainable future for the Sahel region and beyond. Sustainable land use is key to halting the Sahara's advance. The future lies in blending traditional wisdom with modern science. Agroecology, diversifying crops, integrating livestock, composting, builds resilient farms. Techniques like contour ploughing and stone bunds slow water runoff and prevent erosion. Water conservation, drip irrigation, rainwater harvesting makes every drop count. Empowering communities with secure land rights and education is essential. Markets must reward sustainable practices to create lasting incentives. These changes restore both land and livelihoods. A sustainable Sahel is possible if we act now. The path forward is clear. Work with nature, not against it. The Sahara's story is global. Our actions matter. Climate knows no borders, our emissions fuel distant droughts. Protecting fragile ecosystems is self-preservation, not charity. We can support restoration projects, demand sustainable supply chains, and push for climate action. Reducing our carbon footprint, using public transport, eating less meat makes a difference. Choose products with environmental certifications to avoid hidden harm. Embrace global citizenship. See the Sahel's struggle as our own. Every action, no matter how small, ripples outward. Together, we can help hold the line against the advancing sands. The future depends on what we do, starting now. The Sahara's expansion is a formidable challenge, but not a hopeless one. The story is still being written, our choices will shape its ending. Global collaboration like the Great Green Wall shows what's possible. But the scale of the crisis demands even greater investment and commitment. Developed nations must support adaptation and restoration, sharing technology and expertise. The fight against desertification is a global priority. Successes in Niger and Senegal prove that recovery is possible. These green pockets are beacons of hope and resilience. The fate of the Sahara is a test for our planet's future. If we act with urgency and unity, we can halt the desert's march. The journey is long, but the horizon can be green again.